Hello, so today I'm back in Bath and we're going to be talking about the Romans, because let's face it, without the Romans there would be no Bath. So they were the ones who came here and they saw the potential of the natural hot springs that bubbled up from the depths of the earth. So I'm here outside St Swithin's Church, which is at the top of Walcot Street, and it was around Walcot in AD 50 that the Romans first established kind of unplanned settlement. But by AD 60 it was linking up with the main baths, which are now in the city centre. So perhaps even way back then, Walcot Street would have been the main route into the city from the east. Obviously the Romans left a lot of things behind them. The remains of villas, mosaics, the baths of course, but they also left behind some ghosts, and that's what we're going to be talking about today.
So I've heard it said by people who've lived on Walcot Street that sometimes at night you can hear the sound of marching feet and the clink of armour as a ghostly column of Roman soldiers make their way down the road, still following their old route into the heart of the city. This is the Abbey courtyard, and there's a very strange story here of a naked Roman ghost who runs between the Abbey and Abbey Green. When chased, he just disappears. The thing is, if he's naked, how do we know he's Roman? It must be the sandals. Here we are outside Sally Lunn's, Bath's most famous tea shop. But it hasn't always been a tea shop. In the 1930s it was a private house owned by a Miss Mabel Bing Johnson. And when she lived here, she claimed to have seen the ghost of a chanting monk, apparently praying for the repose of Roman prisoners.
So I'm here on Bow Street, and behind me is the Gainsborough Hotel, and before it opened in 2015 there's a lot of construction work going on here, and they uncovered a mosaic floor, a hoard of silver coins, but that's not all they uncovered.
While construction was underway, the site was patrolled by two security guards. One evening, one of the guards spotted an intruder walking along a tunnel, dressed in a helmet, leather tunic and boots, and carrying a sword. He thought it was someone on a night out in fancy dress who'd somehow wandered into the site. So he called his colleague at the other end of the site. They both found the entrances at either end were intact, and when they met up in the middle of the site, neither of them had found the mysterious visitor, even though there was nowhere he could have gone. The tunnel where it had been seen would have been street level in Roman times, so perhaps it was the ghost of a Roman soldier, still carrying out his phantom guard duty. In October 2014, a tourist had a strange experience here. It was near to closing time, so she quickly took some photos of the bath, then turned to go back inside. As she did, she felt someone behind her tugging her hair, but when she turned around, there was no one there. She could only conclude that it was the work of a mischievous Roman ghost.